actually running all of this, we have to mute because any coughing or anything.
As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Sorry about that. I apologize. So we will start again with that. Thank you, everybody on LinkedIn, for being here today. Welcome to Zero to Hero. This is Jen Kwok with J29 Creative. I have one of my favorite people here, Miss Jen Cole. And Jen, why don't you go ahead and just start us off today? Just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. I am Jen Cole. I am a relationship marketing account manager at Now Marketing Group, and they're based in Lima, Ohio. And I am also a co-host on the Making a Marketer podcast, and we air a couple of times a month. I'm a former community manager of Social Media Examiner. That was a really fun job, and so I got to lead their amazing Twitter chat, SME chat. And then, I've had my own agency in the past. We had Depict Media, where we did a Friday live show every Friday. And actually, Kevin has been a guest on that show before because we aired it in Kansas City right after Digital First Midwest, which was so much fun. And I've been basically in the social media industry for about 7 years now. And it all started with me marketing my Zumba classes. I was a Zumba instructor about a decade ago, and I did that for about 8 years. And I started off marketing my Zumba classes, trying to get people to come to them and to my fundraising events we had people come out and do Zumba for fundraisers. And it all started there, really. And then it's only grown and gotten absolutely amazing from there.
That's awesome. Yes, I remember when I met you, you were doing the podcast already. I remember Kevin being on there. I remember you working for the Examiner. So you have come a long way since the beginning of doing the Zumba marketing.
No joke. Yeah, it's been a heck of a ride. That's for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, well, tell me real quick here in a couple sentences, give me an elevator pitch about you. And I don't mean just what you do, because you just described what you do, but who is Jen Cole?
All right. Well, I am a person who is very passionate about keeping relationships strong, whether that is in my business or whether that is in my real life.
That's awesome. Wow, that's really awesome. And I know that from experience. You're definitely always been somebody that's super approachable, fun. Just always very fun loving. That's like the first word that I think about when I think of Jen Cole. So that's awesome.
Yeah, so, I love fun. I definitely do.
Yeah, I saw because we're friends on Facebook as well. So I saw that you and yours recently built a tiki bar in the backyard or something like that.
Yeah, we just moved into this house back in May, and we have this huge backyard, and COVID, and so we can't really go anywhere. No, normally we're going to Kansas City like at least every couple of months. We haven't been there since February, since the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and And so we're like, well, we're not going anywhere. So why don't we just bring the vacation to our backyard? So we built a tiki hut and bar back in our backyard. It's absolutely amazing.
It really is, because I've seen the pictures of it, and I'm like, gosh, those people know how to have fun. Yeah, especially like you said during COVID, like I've seen a lot of people transforming their backyards into like these amazing spaces.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really cool about you guys. So
Yeah.
please tell us about your social media journey. So we all start at zero. We all start at zero coming into the world. We all start at zero when we first set up our accounts on social media, which now is younger and younger ages. But tell us about your journey.
Well, it's kind of interesting because as a marketer, it started, with Zumba. But as a person, it's very, very interesting because back in, I believe it was like 2011, I was still stiff arming Twitter like crazy. And, I was on Facebook. I can't remember if I was on Instagram yet or not, but I was stiff arming Twitter. I didn't understand it. I was like, why would you ever want to do this? I don't care what people are doing every 5 minutes of their life, whatever. So I was not going to get on Twitter ever. And then at the place that I was working, I had this amazing boss. Her name was Vanessa, and she was not on Facebook. She was not on Instagram. And she was also leaving our company. And so I wanted to stay in touch with Vanessa because she had inspired me so much. And she was on Twitter. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to do this. So I made a Twitter so that I could stay in touch with Vanessa. And and I started seeing the value of connecting with people on Twitter in real time, anytime that I wanted to. And the crazy conversations that can happen right there in real time on Twitter. It was before live broadcasting like this was ever even close to being a thing. Right. And so then I started seeing all of these other people leading in the social media industry, like Brian Fanzo, and there's so many of them. There was like Ted Rubin, and there was, of course, Social Media Examiner and Eric Fisher, and all of these people that I wanted to be like, and they were tweeting out stuff that I was interested in all of the time. And so I started following them, started engaging with them, and started kind of doing the same thing on Instagram, but I took more of a local approach as a personal brand. I was like, oh, I'm going to be all about supporting local. And so most of the stuff that I post about is going to be all local, and I'm going to tag everybody. I'm going to make sure that I tag my location so people know where I'm at, and I'm just going to share how much I love local. And so I had this Twitter thing where I was learning. I had Instagram where I was promoting local, and then Facebook's just, everything else really. And, eventually I took an internship after working on the social media accounts for the Wichita Eagle. I took an internship with Valerie Jennings in Kansas City. She has Jennings Social Media Marketing. And I was an intern there for a few months. And then when my internship ended, I was immediately hired by what is now RSM Marketing here in Wichita, Kansas. It was so crazy because I went in, nobody was doing social media quite yet in any of the agencies around. And so I went in to interview with these folks, and I pitched my plan. They gave me a client. They're like, what would you do with this? And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I would do this, 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 and this. And they're like, oh my gosh. I started the next day at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I worked there for a year and a half on all kinds of brands, from nail polish to motocross. They sent me to Dallas for motocross, thing. I don't know what they call them anymore, but it was so much fun. I had a blast doing that. I'm not really into motocross, but I like it now. I appreciate and respect it now more than I ever did before. And then, eventually I went on to Social Media Examiner, and I worked with them for 4.5 years. And then that ended, and I went on to be with Jessica at Now Marketing Group, and to take on an account manager role yet again. And she's put me on some really fun brands, and I'm very, very excited to just really dig in. Like, I've kind of started digging into one or two, but she's given me some great stuff, and I just really can't wait to get going with it. It's so exciting.
Well, I'm excited for you, and it definitely sounds like that you've had a very long journey with social media, like a pretty lengthy journey. You've also explored different things, different ways, really putting yourself out there. And I'm one of those that I'm realizing the importance of Twitter. But I've never, it's never been my strong suit. I've never really fully understood it. I'm like, oh, that's just for people that are in sports, because
Oh yeah, it's good for that.
it's good for sports. It's
Yeah.
good for like political news,
Yes.
and kind of getting what's going on right now, like you said, in the moment. But that's cool how you used it to actually communicate with your friend. And I love that. So as far as the social media examiner, how did you connect? How did you connect with that?
I love this story. So back when I was at RSM marketing, I was kind of new, and I was still really trying to prove my worth in this place to make sure that they understand I don't just play on Facebook all day long. Because back then, seriously, people really thought that. Like back in 2013, 2014, they're like, oh God, okay, whatever, that's not a thing. So I signed up for Social Media Examiner's Social Media Marketing Summit that they used to do a couple times a year. It's all online, all virtual. And and it just so happens that after the summit, I was reached out to by none other than Phil Mershon, the director of events for Social Media Examiner. He reached out to me because he saw on my LinkedIn profile that I was teaching Zumba at the Y that his wife went to, and he just thought he'd reach out and say hi. And then we started. Yeah, it's the most bizarre thing. So Zumba literally led me to Social Media Examiner. It's so weird. And then and so we started working on local projects together. He brought me into this amazing, already established group called Digital Wichita. And Digital Wichita is the organization that, if you're familiar with Social Media Day Wichita, we host that. We plan it and we host it. And we also do a couple other live events during the year. Like we've had Mark Schaefer come a couple of times. We've had Marcus Sheridan come before. We've had a lot of amazing speakers come to our events. And in fact, right now we're even planning a all virtual event coming up in October. So we're planning for that right now. It's really exciting. So we stayed in touch, and I ended up after I worked for RSM Marketing, I worked at Sullivan, Higdon and Sink, which is now Signal Theory. I worked for them for a few months. But when they lost a big client, big aviation client here, they had to make some cuts. And so my position was considered a commodity, and I got axed. And so then Phil literally picked me up, and I was doing stuff for Social Media Examiner like 2 weeks later, like doing behind the scenes WordPress stuff for speakers in the upcoming social media marketing world, which I got to go to for my first year on staff. I'd never been before, and I was on staff. It was incredible. It's like going to Disney World for social media marketers. It's just so amazing. So that's kind of how that all happened. And then right before the conference started, Eric had reached out to me saying, hey, we need a little extra help on the social team. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this. And so, of course, I said yes. It's like the coolest thing you could ever do. I was like, yes, sign me up. I'm so there. When do I start? I'll start today. And so, yeah, so I was pulled in to be a community manager under Eric's social media team. And then, when Eric left Social Media Examiner to go to Agorapulse last November, they hired me right into his position as the community manager for Social Media Examiner full time. It was pretty cool. Really, really cool.
That is really cool. And we believe that everybody has a story. Of course, that's pretty given, but that's a really cool story how that happened and how you just slid right into those positions. And now you said you're with Now as well, and excited about the opportunities there. So that's really cool. I personally haven't been to social media world yet, but Kevin has told me it is a party and a half.
Yes.
For all the social media people, influencers across the US, all of that. So it's pretty cool.
It is amazing. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
so,
something pretty close, but yeah, nothing quite like it. Everyone
Well-
from all over the world comes.
I know. I hope to be there with you in the future.
Yes. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Do a little bitty partying, you know?
A little bit, a whole lot.
A whole lot of partying.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here. Every superhero has a defining moment. So what is yours when it comes to life and career? What's your defining moment?
You know, I think when I decided to collaborate, to be more of a hey, look at me, but more of a hey, look at us and what we're doing kind of thing. That was a defining moment when I took that, hey, I'm going to square myself away and rip that apart and jumped out of my box and started talking to this person, and just, I really feel like the community management work that I did for Social Media Examiner allowed me to just glide through there and embrace new relationships that I never even thought I would have. I would have never met Jessica Phillips at Now Marketing Group if it weren't for SME. She's the president of Now Marketing Group, but she's also one of my best friends. We're in this group called the Queenies, where there's 8 of us, and we get together and it's kind of like a mastermind type of thing where we are constantly bouncing ideas and things off of each other's, heads, so that we can say, hey, is this a good idea? Is this a dumb idea? Is this a good idea that I need to tweak? Like those kinds of things. And so we're constantly collaborating with each other, but we're also constantly building each other up. And we're also trying to build a community around that to build other people up and realize, hey, you're amazing for your own thing. Let's find what that is. And we call that find your tiara. Like, what is the thing that makes you amazing? What is your tiara? So
Absolutely.
I think that was it.
Well, I think you're definitely in the place where you're wearing your tiara, because I definitely hear a lot of great things and see a lot of great things across your social media that you're doing, that you're getting to do, that you're excited about, and I think that you've definitely found your place. So I love that. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So what to you are attributes of a hero? Like what defines a hero for you?
For me, a hero is somebody very passionate about something, but is also at the same time very selfless about their passion, which means that they would like whatever that passion is, they want to grow it, but they want to do it in a way that is serving others and serving the community and serving whoever their audience is. So I feel like a true hero is somebody that is constantly serving. If you think about Spider-Man, he is a vigilante. He's like serving the community at all times, even though he's not so appreciated. But you don't have to have a cape to, we've all heard that quote, not all real heroes wear capes, although capes are pretty cool. But if you are living your passion and doing it in a selfless way and really trying to share why you're passionate about what you're passionate about, then I think you're really being a hero, because you're shedding light on something very, very important that other people might not see that perspective of what this is. And for you to be able to shed your special light on that really can make you a hero. And it can make you a hero to people that you would not necessarily think, or even, it really helps you step outside of your own circle. A hero is a beacon. It's a person who attracts people and attracts, people from all walks of life, not just a certain type of person, because they're shedding a passion in different kind of perspectives. And it can be very, very powerful. And that's what I think of when I think of a real hero.
That's awesome. And it really makes, actually what you were saying made me think back to all the superheroes that we have created over time.
Yeah.
That we've actually, people have put together these comic books and created these different characters. And a lot of them were just plain people. They started out as just an ordinary person, maybe better looking, or maybe with long hair, or maybe more wealthy. But they were just a person in society who no one knew who the Batman was. No one knew who the Spider-Man was. No one knew that, no one knew that, what's his name? Aquaman was going to become the king of the ocean, and be on land and sea. So and that kind of goes back to our belief that everybody has a hero inside, and we're all impacting the world in some way, in our own way. Like you said, that particular person could see something and shed a light on something that other people don't see from that perspective. And so that, it comes just like I have on today. It says, just be yourself.
Oh, I love it.
So, I mean, that's kind of what you're saying. There you go. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, so if you had to pick a superhero that you feel best relates to you, who would that be and why would you choose them?
Wow. I'm really on board with everything that Wonder Woman is doing. Like her whole vibe, like I can do this, I got this. I'm really liking that independent woman vibe that Wonder Woman gives off. I think that's empowering to a lot of people. I love that they're bringing it back. I don't know if it's out yet, but I've seen some pretty amazing trailers for it. So I would definitely say Wonder Woman is top of the list. Pretty
absolutely. Well, I would have to agree with you on that, and she is definitely fearless. In the last one that I saw. So yeah, she's a fearless character, and I wouldn't mind looking like the actress herself either. She did a great job.
Oh, I know. That would be pretty okay.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be Wonder Woman. But yes, they have, a lot of them are just very courageous and fearless, and I know that she is one that's known for that. Unstoppable. Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
I would say it's pretty inspiring when you can face your fear and make something amazing out of it. And I find that to be pretty inspiring when anybody does. Anybody can be a superhero in that manner. Just face your fear, get over it, and then preach what you learned and live what you've learned. And I love that thought.
Absolutely. So over the course of this is my own personal question, over the course of your social media journey, of your career journey, of all of your life, what really stands out to you the most? Like, what is the one thing that you would take away, for example, from all the jobs that you've had or all the experience with marketing that you've had?
It's got to be the people. It's always 100%. No, not even flinching, not even thinking about it. It's always going to be the people. I have met the best people in the whole wide world, literally, because of what I do is, in the social media marketing industry. It's just fun. The most passionate people, the most driven people, the most motivating people, and the most empowering people. It has to be those people.
That's awesome. And actually, to me, that's what a true hero is. It's about, like you said, being selfless, and it's about the people. Yeah. It's all about the people. That's the only reason. That's the only reason they all do what they do, is for the people. So I really love that. So what's something that you could tell to all the people that are watching this that are new to social media or new to marketing? What's some advice that you might give to them?
Okay, I love this question so much. When you're starting out on social media, it's very important to do two things. One, be patient, because to build a community, it takes time, and it takes people really understanding what you're about for them to devote themselves to following you. But I feel like the more that you be patient but engage with other people, the better you're going to do. And then you're going to attract the people that you actually want to have following you, which leads me to my second thing, which is just be yourself on social media. Be who you are. Because that authentic self is going to it's going to be a magnet to people that are like you, or to people that want to be like you, or to people that are not necessarily like you but find what you are very interesting. Like, you just never know. But if you are just yourself and you're not hiding anything or acting in a certain way, people really appreciate authenticity. And so be patient and be yourself are the two things that I would love to say to anybody starting on social media.
Absolutely. And I think that's a good point, Jen, because I feel like a lot of people are just looking for success or looking to become successful, whether they want to be do a business, or be a social media influencer or whatever they're wanting to do. And you're right, like being natural is what you attract whoever you are. So whatever you project to the public, that's what you're going to get back from people. And well, it's a lot easier to be yourself anyway. I don't know. I'm like, I don't get why people wouldn't want to do that, because it's wonderful to be able to put yourself out there and be natural and not have to think about how would I phrase this where people will like me, you know, but rather who am I and what do I have to give to the world? What do I have to say? Also, I notice a lot of people are looking for a quick fix when it comes to doing marketing. And like you said, it takes time. You have to be patient. It's a long game of building that foundation and then building on top of it. So that's awesome. Well, Jen, I love having you on the show. I love seeing you again and being able to connect.
I love seeing you too. It's so great.
I want everybody to be able to connect with Jen Cole and know Jen Cole like I do. So how do they connect with you on social media? Where should they go to connect with you?
All right. Well, you can find me here on LinkedIn as just Jen Cole. That's who I am. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and I'm at Now Marketing Group. But if you're looking for me on Twitter or Instagram, you can find me at Jen Cole ICT. So that's JenColeict.
Perfect. Well, and I heard you guys, I saw on your social media channel, you wrote a book. So before we get off, you have to tell me about the book.
Well, I didn't write I'm helping promote the book, but this book is amazing. It's the, I have it right here. It's actually written by 4 of my friends, and it's the ultimate guide to social media marketing. And so this is by Eric Buteau, who is actually with Entrepreneur, and Mike Alton, he's with Agora Pulse. Then you have Jen Herman out of, she's in San Diego. I'm pointing as if you guys know.
Up there in San Diego.
Out there in the world of San Diego. Stephanie Liu, who is also in San Diego. And then, of course, Amanda Robinson in Canada. But this book is amazing. It's so awesome. I'm so excited about it. And I've been sharing a lot about it because I'm so proud of my friends. And they just really put something together that's amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know that a lot of them are involved with the social media world as well every year. They know their stuff. So it's a book worth looking into.
It really is. And you can find it. It's on Amazon, The Ultimate Guide to Social Media Marketing. It's just, I'm so tickled.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing with us. So that sums up Zero to Hero episode 4. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you again next week, Friday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you guys.